Hello and welcome to the Motivation Mob podcast. I am your host, MW. Hey, Motivation Mob, MW here. You have motivation. Now, sometimes I know it might feel like you don't have any motivation to do the things that you need to do, but let me tell you, as difficult as it may seem to get the things you want to get done, as difficult as it might seem to overcome procrastination, as much as it might feel you have zero motivation, you have the motivation you need to achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life. Here's the thing, and I've said this in previous episodes. You have the motivation you need. Your problem is not a lack of motivation. Your problem is an inability to direct that motivation towards the achievement of the goals that you want to achieve. Your problem is not that you have no motivation, because you have motivation. It's just that you are unable to direct that motivation in a way that allows you to have the things you want to have, to become the person you need to become or the person you want to become, and to do the things that you want to do. You have more than enough motivation. The only problem that you have is that you haven't found a strategy to direct that motivation. It's all about a strategy. What does that really mean? Well, that means that motivation is a skill. Success is a skill. Playing guitar is a skill. Learning how to walk is a skill. Riding a bicycle is a skill. Making money is a skill. Perfecting your relationships, or bettering your relationships, if I should say that is a skill. Happiness is a skill. Whatever you want to achieve in life, there is a skill that you need to acquire in order for you to have it. I don't think you hear what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is you can learn to be motivated. You can learn how to find that motivation when you need it most. You can learn how to succeed at the things that you want to succeed at. The power is in your hands. You can choose to learn anything, and indeed you can learn anything. Motivation is one of those things you can learn. You can learn how to find the motivation you need to achieve the success that you are more than capable of achieving. So, you may be questioning whether or not you really do have that motivation that I just spoke about. I remember a time in my life when if I heard the same thing, I would never have believed it. I would have thought it was a lie. I would have thought it was an outright con. I would have thought whoever told me that was probably trying to sell me some sort of course or something, con me out of something, or con me into signing up for something. Well, listen. You have more than enough motivation. It is only that you haven't mastered how to direct it. Do you have the motivation right now to cut your arm off? You probably don't have much motivation to do that, right? But why is that? Why is it you do not feel motivated to cut your arm off? Well, that's because you feel motivated to do something other than cutting your arm off. That is because you find more value in having your arm than in cutting it off. But what if cutting your arm off could save your life? What if you were pinned in between a boulder and a cliff face? What if your arm got stuck when a boulder dislodged itself, pinning you against a cliff face. And the only way for you to free yourself is to cut your arm off. What if you're in a situation where nobody knows where you are and you have no way of communicating with the outside world? You're stuck, you're alone. Only you can help yourself get out of that situation. Only you are your own hero. Only you can be the hero. Nobody else goes to where you are. You are all alone. If you know that by cutting your arm off, you can get free. By cutting your arm off, you can rescue yourself. By cutting your arm off, you can live. It might be a difficult situation to make, a difficult decision to make, but all of a sudden, you have a little more value in cutting your arm off, and keeping your arm seems a little less valuable. Well, what if I told you you had only 20 minutes to decide whether you live or die, whether you cut your arm off or not? What if I told you that you had the next 60 seconds to cut your arm off or you die? How does that change the motivation you would feel? Would you feel more motivated to cut your arm off and live? Or would you die with your arm? If you feel more motivated to cut your arm off, that should show you that the only thing missing is an ability to direct your motivation. To direct your motivation towards the things that you want to achieve. If at the beginning you had no interest in cutting your arm off, and most people will be there, if you find no value in cutting your arm off, but yet at the end when I tell you that you have 60 seconds to live, unless you cut off your arm, that shows you that you have the motivation. You just need to find a way of directing it. Motivation is a skill. And as with every skill, there are smaller skills within the larger skill. Finding value is one of those skills. Finding value in the things that you want to do. Finding value in the activities that you naturally tend to procrastinate on. When you find that value, you increase your motivation. And when you devalue the things that you procrastinate with, when you devalue that thing that wastes your time, that thing that you run to, that always leads you to failing, to not achieving your goals, when you devalue that thing enough, you feel less motivated to turn to it. But again, finding value in the important things, so you find motivation, that is a skill. Finding a way to devalue the things you don't want to do, the things that you know are keeping you from the success that you are capable of having. Finding a way to devalue those things, that's a skill. What am I saying here? I'm saying that you can learn how to take control of your motivation. You can learn how to take control of your life. You can learn how to take control of your success. I hope you found this episode helpful, insightful, useful, and most of all, I hope you found it share-worthy. Because if you did, simply sharing this with anybody you love, the first person who comes to mind, sharing this with that person could change their lives. You could help that special someone in your life, that person you love more than anybody else in the world. You could help that person become successful simply by understanding that motivation is a skill that they can learn. And my friend, if they learn that skill, the success that they will have in their lives, that will all be because you decided to share this with them. All right? So I'll see you in the next episode.